Following the preceding president's loss in the 2020 election, Republican lawmakers have introduced or passed nearly 400 controversial voting bills and laws in at least 47 states that have been deemed restrictive and suppressive, according to Democrats and election officials. These bills and laws are greatly influenced by the preceding president's false claims of widespread voter fraud, and they are aimed at restricting the voting rights of voters of color as well as young people. I was able to sit down with Doyle D'Angelo Bolin, a Black American student who is a junior at WSU, and ask him what he thinks about the controversial laws, as well as what he believes local leaders can do to curb these tactics.
Personally, these new laws, it's really hard to pinpoint what the Republicans end goal is. The whole background to it was, oh, there's voter fraud, this not, but there was no basis to that. It was just a baseless claim.
Now, according to the college statistics website, collegefactual.com, approximately 20% of students who are currently attending WSU are Indigenous and/or people of color, which, when you compare them to the national numbers, make up a significant part of the electorate.
We all should have easy access to voting, and the fact that they're trying to make it harder for U.S. citizens is quite ridiculous to me.
The Democrats have introduced two publicly supported bills in Congress, the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, two bills that, if passed, would effectively eliminate all bills and laws aimed at restricting voting. However, the bills face an uphill battle in the Senate, as even if the evenly split chamber of Congress were to gather the majority of votes along party lines, then the Republicans can enforce the questionable filibuster rule, which would then require both bills to have 60 votes to pass. The bills have absolutely no support by Senate Republicans.
I don't know if there's much that our leaders can do, at least on the Democratic side, because we talked about problems with the filibuster. If you can't abolish that, it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to stop Republicans from passing these bills.
But even with these mounting obstacles, D'Angelo is still very optimistic that voters will show up in high numbers again for the upcoming midterms and the next presidential election.
I think because of this situation, it's going to make people more aware, and I think it's going to make people more avid about going out and voting.
So while it is still unclear how these new voting measures will affect voter turnout in the upcoming midterms and beyond, it is clear, however, that this is a topic of concern that activists nationwide and on the WSU campus are keeping their eyes locked on for the next year. With Murrow News 8, I'm Gillis Williams.